We are live. What's going on? How's it going, Entertain? How you doing, man? Good morning to you. Top of the morning. Top of the morning. How's it going? I put out my full card breakdown and predictions video yesterday for this weekend's fight, and it's actually a pretty good fight night. And then I forgot that Kyle Nelson and Calvin Kattar was actually supposed to be one of the matchups on there. And then Calvin Kattar had to pull out. I think it was like a couple of months, like 2 months ago. Kattar was like not going to be able to make it. So they put in Garcia as a replacement. So, but again, I don't know, man. I'm so excited. I think it's a pretty decent card. What's up, Tehran? How you doing, man? So we'll see. We'll see. And then we got the Sphere. It's coming up quick, actually. I think that's next weekend, right? We'll have the Sphere. Yeah. Wow. Next weekend. So not far off from the Sphere being here, which it's not looking particularly great in terms of the Sphere right now. I don't know. I think that the UFC just kind of messed it up from the get-go. And again, I think Dana just didn't learn his lesson from over-promising. And that's kind of what happened with UFC 300, I think he just gets so excited and he just starts yapping about some shit. And then the people behind the scenes are like, all right, dude, like realistically, this is what we're doing. And then I don't know, it just kind of comes off as if they're whiffing and not putting together a great product. So I don't know whether it's Dana or the people behind the scenes. And I don't know, man. Even if Merab gets hit by a car, they'll make him fight. Yeah. They're not. Dana was like, look, we've put so much money into the production and they can't have anyone pulling out Eddie fights. So I don't know, man. I don't know. What's up, Milk? I look like a young Wolverine. Good morning, Vietnam. What's up, Craze? How you doing, man? There's a vid of Bohayo grappling with Almeida. Bohayo lost a decision, but did pretty good. Interesting. What's up, Cayman? Interesting. I have not seen that. What's up, Rocco? How you doing, man? That's interesting. What's up, Halsatron? You know, Dana White's going to be pissed if Merab pulls out. Merab ain't pulling out, man. And here's the thing. Look, he would be pissed. But if Merab can't make it to the dance, dude, he's not getting another title shot. They didn't even want to give him a title shot. You know, they were kind of giving him the long road. And whenever the UFC kind of has a guy like that, they try to turn you around real quick. If you win the belt, they try to, what they did to Aljo, they did the same thing. They were trying to do the same thing to Bilal. They were trying to get him to fight at UFC 307. It's like, dude, he literally was like, I'm not going to be able to fight until later in the year. And the UFC is like, nah, we're going to see if you can, we're going to see if we can get you to turn around while you're still injured or compromised, or they do this, man. I don't know. So Merab better make it to the dance because they're not going to be willing to give him another title shot. So. But again, we'll see. And I think it's a fun fight, an interesting fight, I should say. I don't know how fun it's going to be, but I think that it's going to be interesting. But I don't know, man. What's up, Diego? How you doing? 3 good fights, all the card. Yeah, the Bahamondes versus Manuel Torres fight, that might be the best fight on the card, honestly. It might be. Maybe I'm stretching, but I think it might be. At a certain point, they gave both Almeida and Bohayo to start on the back due to a stalemate. Almeida was able to get out. Bohayo wasn't, so he lost by escape time. That's impressive, though. Didn't Aljo have some crazy injury and the UFC still made him fight? So he fought Henry Cejudo, and it was a close fight. And I think he was a little bit banged up, and they literally at the post-fight presser where Dana goes, oh, I don't make fights the night of fights. You know, at that post-fight presser when everyone asks him, what do you think's next for whatever? He's like, I don't make fights the night of. They already knew that Sean O'Malley was going to be fighting 3 months later. I believe it was 3 months in Boston. And then they were like, yeah, we're going to have Aljo fight him then. And that's the idea. They already had that all in place. It's what they do, man. They strategically put guys at a disadvantage. Now, it doesn't always work out. We'd have to go back in time and look at when they've done this, if it's always worked in their favor, but they try to do this. If there's a guy that's the champ, they try to put them in a bad position, hoping that they'll lose to someone that they would rather be the champion. But yeah, he was banged up. Aljo was, I believe. The UFC doesn't want Merab as champ because he's boring. Yeah, he is. I do think he's boring. I don't think he's entertaining. But his personality, he's done the right things on social media, like making himself more entertaining. He has a tough style to deal with. So, but yeah, again, like his striking is just, you know what I mean? I don't know. You've been thinking more and more about Islam versus Arman. Honestly, think Arman has to win the first round to force Islam to play catch up and maybe make mistakes in order to win. Yeah, I mean, maybe. Yeah, if you could get Islam to be a little reckless, that's hard to do. That's hard to do. I don't know. But we saw the Poirier gave him a fight, man, you know? So I don't know. I don't know. What's up, Terp? They're going to feed Volk to Oliveira. I think he's getting finished again, unfortunately. I don't want to see that fight, man. I don't want to see that fight. I don't know who Volkanovski should fight. I think he's in a really weird position. We don't want to see him and Holloway again. You know, him and Emmett, I mean, we'd be holding our breath, I think, because of the Emmett power, but I don't know. I don't know. Featherweight's getting kind of good at the top there. You hope O'Malley gets the W. Can't stand Merab as champ. Takedown spammer with unlimited cardio. Yeah, he's got like a crazy style, but yeah, he's not the most entertaining. What's up, Chad? You don't know why everyone went from Arman versus Islam is close to Islam's washed. Arman, this is a very close fight. It is a good fight. It's a very close fight. I think it's a good one. You just think it's more of a game momentum when it comes to them. Volk will be back up for Holloway, Topuria. Yeah, I don't think Volkanovski's look. He's getting up there in age. You know what I mean? And if he goes out there and he takes an L, he's not fighting for the title again. You know what I mean? So I think he's in a weird position. I think he's in a weird position. Tony Ferguson and Mickey Gall are being targeted for 310. Oh, I don't want to see Tony fight anymore, man. If that's true. I didn't see anything on that, though. Still crazy this Saturday card is at the Apex instead of front of a crowd. I know, man. It should have been. That definitely should be in front of a crowd. Do I like chicken wings? Yeah. What's up, man? How you doing? What's up, Klaus? What's up, Cold Art? Who would I pick, Bahayo or Izzy? I still think Izzy could beat him. I think Izzy could beat him. Yeah, I hope Tony's not fighting anymore. I think he should retire 100%. A lot of people don't understand that Islam was up 4-0 going into the 5th round. He also outstruck Dustin in every round, then finished him. Islam is elite. Islam's definitely elite. I think that he's one. In my opinion, I was getting excited there. He is my number one pound for pound fighter right now because he's more active than like someone like John, right? So I think Islam is a, I think that makes sense for him to be number one. It seems like Volk wants to get knocked out by Topuria. Yeah, Topuria is a bad fight for him. He's a very bad fight for him. 4-0 is a bit crazy. 3-1 is what it was. Yeah, I think it was. I thought it was 3-1. Moreno versus Albazi confirmed for a November main event. Where'd you see that? Is that on X right now or Twitter or whatever? Let me see. Is Tony versus Nick Diaz? Maybe that would make sense. They're both over the hill, you know. Is Brendan Allen one of the most fraudulent on one of the most fraudulent runs right now? Could be. We were talking about that on one of my on one of the lives recently, saying that he's on a little bit of a fraudulent tear. I mean, he's good if he could get to your back, and I think that he has. I think his striking has improved, but I don't know, man. I'm not too high on Brendan Allen. Yeah, Tony's on an 8-fight losing streak. Yeah, I switched it from 11:30 to 11:15 because I was able to hop on here a little early. So why wait, man? Why wait if I could just get right to it, man? If Alex beat Ankalaev, he would be pound for pound number one, which is why this nothing fight with Roundtree is so annoying. Well, look, the UFC is just trying to build the guy, man. You know what I mean? But again, the Ankalaev fight, I've said before, like, is Ankalaev a hard fight? Yes, I think Ankalaev is. he's a damn good fighter, and it's a fun matchup. And I think that that's going to be a big fight whenever it happens. Hopefully it happens. Hopefully Ankalaev wins. Hopefully Peloton wins. And then we have a big fight between Ankalaev and Pineda. And I think that's a huge fight. Huge fight. Because this notion that, he's some sort of like, just boring grappler. It's like, dude, Magomed's a striker. Like, he grapples a little bit, but he's mainly a striker. You know what I mean? So I think it's a great fight. Volk is literally licking his chops to get slept again. Does this guy forget that he has actual fans that care if he gets slept? Dude just wants to prove macho. Yeah, his ego's getting in the way a little bit, for sure. Dan Hooker versus Charles. That's a good fight. JDM or MVP? Ooh. I think that MVP could probably beat him. But again, if JDM's able to catch him and able to keep him on the back foot and just utilize the boxing and mix in some takedowns, maybe. But I don't know, man. If you're just standing in front of MVP, not many people can beat him. Really, nobody's beating him other than a lucky calf kick from Lima and then a perfectly timed uppercut. But outside of that, he's been like invincible on the feet. Yeah, I agree, Chad. I agree. Yeah, if JDM can't take him down, it's gonna be a problem. Basharat versus Victor Hugo for 308. Is that for real? That's a great matchup. You've been saying that Allen is on a fraudulent run compared to Imavov, face some top ranked guys. I agree, man. I agree, Rocco. I know you have been saying that. You have been saying that. Now, look, Allen has good back attacks. Like, I think Brendan Allen is still a dangerous fighter, but I don't think that I don't think he's going to be champion. And I think that he's a top contender, which he's kind of reaching right now. But like, for example, his upcoming fight, which by the way, that Paris card is actually is not too bad. At least the main and co-main events are good fights. But I really think that Imavov's going to touch him up bad. You know what I mean? I think Imavov's gonna beat him up pretty good. But again, if Brendan Allen can take your back, you're in a world of trouble. Thoughts on Colby Dustin? Dustin looked good against Islam, but Colby is way more relentless chain wrestler. Islam will disengage and stay on the feet if someone gets up, but Colby just goes again. I mean, I think Poirier can beat him. The only issue, because Colby's a very small welterweight, but the issue that I have is what's Colby going to look like? I know he was, says he was injured against Leon, but who knows, man? And Dustin, his takedown defense looked good against Islam, and Islam's way better than Colby. Way better than Colby. He's got a submission threat. He actually has a striking threat. Colby's only threat is basically you get tired and he just keeps taking you down. So I think Dustin, if he comes in there like he did against Islam, I think he could hurt Colby pretty bad. So Masvidal had moments against Colby, and I think Dustin's way better than Masvidal. You know what I mean? So I think Dustin would be able to do all right, actually. Do you love Volk but want him to fight Ilya again so Ilya can retire him? The Volk era is over. Yeah, it's Topuria's time, man, I think, Dustin fighting Colby is literally just the worst thing Dustin could do. Firstly, Colby smokes him, and why give the duck machine any attention? I mean, I don't think that he would take that fight. Poirier, why? For his last fight, you would want it to be Colby Covington, a guy that's not going to stand and bang. Like, I think Poirier wants someone that's going to give him a fight. You know what I mean? Like a Dan Hooker type of fight is what he would like to probably go out on. What's up, QII? Albazi versus Moreno main event November 9. That's a good fight if that's true. I haven't seen that anywhere, but that's an interesting fight. I think Albazi might be able to win that one though. Piotr Jan and Figgy is being talked about for early 2025. That's a great fight. I love that matchup. Love that matchup. Dustin pulling off a Gilly against Colby. That would be crazy. Colby might have been injured, but man, he looked defeated and like he didn't even want to try. Yeah, I don't know. He didn't look good in that fight at all whatsoever. What's up, Antoine? How you doing, man? Volk is a boring fighter. I don't think he's a boring fighter. I just think that he's, I don't know. You think Colby mops Dustin? I don't know, man. I don't know. I think Dustin has a better chance than what people might think. If Pereira and Ankalaev both get chin, this timeline is screwed. Dude, I know. Imagine Rakic chins Magomed and then Roundtree chins Alexa, and we never get that fight. I'll be pissed, dude. That's the fight to make. And I think it's going to be a big fight whenever it happens. Ankalaev and Alex. So I think that's a huge fight. There's a little bit of a storyline now. This whole who's ducking who, is the UFC protecting what's his name? Like, I feel like they're developing a little bit of a storyline for it. So Fiziev versus Dustin is what you're praying for. That's a great matchup. The only issue is Dustin going to want to give another guy an opportunity? Like Fiziev, like Dustin can pick and choose fights. You know what I mean? He doesn't have to fight. You know, he can fight whoever he wants pretty much. So is he going to want to give a young guy like that an opportunity? Because Gaethje already kind of did, and he lost to Gaethje. So I don't know. Nate Diaz can come back to the UFC and fight Dustin. I don't think Nate's going to want that fight, man. I'm being honest. And I'm a big Nate guy. I don't think if I'm Nate, I'm like, nah. You know what I mean? I think Dustin hurts him pretty bad. I think he does. You hate Colby, but you could be objective and say that Dustin's retirement fight shouldn't be a guy that has an insane gas tank and relentless wrestling. Yeah, that's how I feel. I want to see someone that's going to stand and it's a striking battle for Poirier. That's what I would love to see. Dustin will not fight anyone besides Justin or Conor. Yeah, I feel like that's a realistic take there. And you got to remember, Dustin's coming off an L right now too. Dustin's coming off an L, and so is Justin. So maybe they look to do the trilogy fight night in Louisiana or something early next year. I don't know. I feel like they're selfishly going to put that on a pay-per-view though. If Poirier and Gaethje fought again. You think they should rebook Gamrot versus Fiziev? Yeah, maybe they do that, considering Gamrot just came off that L to a Hooker. You have such a strong feeling that Rakic will beat Ankalaev. What makes you say that? Are you because of the leg kicks and stuff? Yeah, I think the Diamond. I think the Diamond actually can do much better against Colby than what people think. Dustin versus Justin 3 needs to happen so they could potentially retire. Colby needs to fight a top 10 welterweight for once. Yeah, Colby, yeah, he hasn't. He avoids all the contenders and then gets a title shot. Do I think Orlabai versus Rombetsky will be close? I do. I think that, look, that's an interesting fight because what we saw from Rombetsky, he's good. He's very, very good. He's got crazy power. He's aggressive. But what we saw in his last fight, maybe that's going to be a little bit of a learning experience for him because you know, like Joe Pyfer lost to Jack Hermanson. Like, I think Joe Pyfer is better than Jack Hermanson, but he wasn't. The gas tank was an issue, and the veteran presence of Jack Hermanson just took over. And I think that that's what happened in Rombetsky's last fight. He went balls to the wall. You know, you can't just finish everybody. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I've been saying about Khamzat. I'm a big Khamzat Chimaev fan. And what I've been saying this whole time is, look, Khamzat's great, and I know the aura is smash everybody, kill everybody, and like, you know, run out there and grab a hold of somebody, run over, pick them up in the air. Dana, I fight everybody. I fight Brock Lesnar and slam them on the ground and sub them. But when you fight the best guys in the world, you're not going to be able to do that, man. Like, you just aren't. So focus on the task at hand. Be smart with your energy and fight a little more strategically. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, you're not going to lose fans over that. And I think that if Rombetsky fights intelligently, I think that he can win the fight. But if he comes out balls to the wall, I don't think he's going to be able to get Orlabai out of there. And I think Orlabai is going to come in with a grapple-heavy approach. And I think Orlabai might be able to beat him, to be honest with you. I think that the grappling of Orlabai could be a problem. But Rombetsky's so low to the ground, and he's like a powerhouse. So I don't know, man. That's a great fight. That's a really good fight. I like that. I like that matchup. Yeah, Magomed's very vulnerable to the leg kicks. He is, but I thought that he made a good adjustment against Johnny Walker, and he kind of was a little bit more Muay Thai based with kind of a little lighter on that lead leg. So we'll see. And it's a little bit different when you're orthodox and you're throwing them across because Rakic doesn't have a good lead leg low kick. Dustin and Diaz were supposed to fight in 2018. Yeah, I remember that. That was supposed to happen. Thoughts on Gon Volkov too? I'm leaning Volkov because he has been more active as an has improved. I agree. I think, look, it's I think Seal Gon is faster. We've seen this fight before where, you know, it was Gon was just a little bit quicker and he was able to, you know, keep him at range. If I'm Volkov, I'm trying to mix in the grappling. The only thing that concerns me is Gane is so much faster than Volkov. He's a lot faster than him. Volkov is just not very fast. But, and Gane isn't Sergey Pavlovich, who's just going to kind of move forward and try to get on the inside. Like, Gane's just going to sit on the outside and, bounce around and play that kind of game. So, yeah, Basharat and Hugo is a great matchup. I like that fight. Rakic would never beat Ankalaev, even if the UFC is afraid to match Pineda with Ankalaev. I mean, I think Ankalaev is going to run through Rakic, but maybe I'm just being a little biased there. But I think Magomed runs through him. Because I think that Rakic, he does have good kicks, but he loads up on him. And I don't think he has good boxing. His boxing is very basic, and he doesn't have power in his hands, which is so weird. How are you a light heavyweight that's that massive like Rakic, but he doesn't really have power in his hands? It's the weirdest thing. And Ankalaev, he's way faster than Rakic. He's got really good boxing. And I think that he's just able to move forward. You remember how Yuri just kind of broke Rakic as the fight kind of played out and just willed his way to victory? I think Magomed Ankalaev is just going to get in his face and just break him. That's what I think, personally. You think Rakic has a chance against Ankalaev, but I still think Ankalaev gets the win. Yeah, I'm rolling with Ankalaev in that one. I'm not changing my mind on that pick. Thoughts on Imavov versus Brendan Allen? I think it's a great matchup. I think it's a fun fight, and I think Imavov is definitely the better fighter, in my opinion, but I keep saying this. If Brendan Allen is able to get on your back, if he's able to, kind of play this like dirty, grimy type of style, and he's able to take Nasruddin's back and jump on his back with a lot of time left in a round or something like that, I could see him maybe pulling off a submission. But outside of that, I think Nasruddin Imavov is way better. I think he's way faster. He actually has pretty good grappling also. That I think gets overlooked a little bit. And I think just the speed of Imavov, and I think he's confident now. You know what I mean? And he went toe-to-toe with Sean Strickland, and we saw what Strickland did to Brendan Allen. So, and I know that styles make fights, and we can't always look at that. But, I think that speed and a guy that has like good movement that's able to kind of, keep you at the end of end of their shots has a lot of success against Brendan Allen. So I think that Imavov can pick him apart. Do I think Conor McGregor will fight again? I don't know, to be honest with you. I feel like maybe he will, but it sounds like the UFC's got some sort of announcement. I thought that they should have done it this past weekend. We had no fights or anything. Like, that would have been a huge deal. Like, if on Saturday they were like, here's all these fights, like that would have been crazy since we had no fight news or no fights this weekend. That would have been fun. But I think we do. I'm in hot and cold thinking maybe, maybe not, but yeah, I think we do. But I don't know if it's going to be Chandler, man. I don't know if it's Chandler, because I've been saying this before. Like, I could easily see them deciding to go Conor Poirier 4, because look, Conor can fight anyone, and it's a big deal, right? But if I said to you guys like this, right? Or actually, I'm going to put up a poll. Let's play a game here. All right, let's play a game. Which is a bigger fight? Let me put up this poll real quick. And if you guys are enjoying this, if you could like the stream, I would appreciate it. Let me put this poll in here instead of me just saying what I think. All right. So we got two options here. Which fight do you guys think is bigger? All right. Because I think there's only one fight that the UFC could put together right now that would be bigger. So do you think that Poirier is a bigger fight with McGregor, or do you think Chandler is? Poirier, like, it's a huge fight, dude. It's a massive fight. You know what I mean? That's a massive, massive, massive fight. And the UFC needs massive fights right now. That's kind of what they're like hurting for. And if you're looking for a big one, you mean to tell me that Poirier versus McGregor is not like, it has everything. It's got the bad blood. They hate each other. Like, that's a bigger fight than the Chandler fight for sure, in my opinion. What's up, Barbara Ryan? How you doing, man? Which card? Are you saying the for the Sphere? The Sphere card has some good prospects on there, but it's just, look, it's the fact that Dana White was like, oh, the Sphere, it's going to be the one-time deal. And it's like, dude, for a one-time deal, like UFC 308 looks like the second coming of UFC 300. And the Sphere is just like, meh. You know what I mean? I don't know. You wonder why Imavov declined a 5-rounder against Allen? I don't know. That's an interesting. I thought it was it's not a 5-rounder. Interesting. Rakic has good takedown defense and heavy leg kicks. It's not an easy fight for Ankalaev. I don't think it's an easy fight. I just think Ankalaev's going to turn it into a close quarters boxing match. But yeah, if he doesn't have an answer for the leg kicks, could be a problem. And he gets his legs beat up. Charles Bullitt versus Sean Strickland in a street fight. Strickland's beating him up. Rakic versus Pereira. I mean, if Rakic starches Magomed, I mean, maybe they give him a title shot next. I don't know, man. I don't know. You're rooting for Orlabai. I'm hoping he improves since 301. Look, if Orlabai does not walk out to that song from Ice Age, I'm going to be disappointed, man. I'm going to be disappointed. That man is from a time capsule back in the day. He tames woolly mammoths in his spare time. You know what I'm saying? Orlabai is a unique dude, man. He's a good fighter. He's a good fighter. Rakic lost to Yuri, someone with 0 fight IQ. Yeah, but he was also doing very, very well against Yuri until he just wasn't. You know, but again, you know, you got to be dialed in, I guess. But I know. You're not very impressed with Charles Bullitt, to be honest. I think he's a fun fighter. He's got good kicks, but there's a lot of holes in the boxing and in the grappling. That's true. I'll have to go back and watch the Rakic versus Yuri fight, to be honest with you. If Allen has if he had has a chin, he'd be really good. Yeah, I mean, his striking, I think, is improved. Yeah, I think the Sphere is meh. You know what I mean? I think that Dana, again, built it up and everyone had their, you know, these high hopes. And then now it's kind of like, you know? Magomed isn't wrestling as much as he used to. That's what I'm saying, man. The dude has good wrestling, but he's not really a wrestler. He's a striker. He's absolutely a striker. Magomed Ankalaev is a damn good one, too. He's got good boxing, and he's got good kicks. He's got a good high kick, and he's got a good front kick also. He is a striker, man. Magomed Ankalaev is a striker. Bilal, Islam, and Dricus all fighting next year. It seems like they're making room for Conor at 310. I mean, I think that they are. I think that they are. I would agree. I think that the year is going to end with that. Dustin stealing the Chandler fight would be hilarious. It would be hilarious. Shavkat or Labai? What's going on, man? Yeah, I mean, that'd be messed up, dude. If Chandler doesn't get the McGregor fight, surely he can sue for emotional damages at that point. Yeah, the UFC and Conor will have a lawsuit. But what do we got here? We got 50-50, man. We got, wow, that's crazy. I'm surprised, man. I thought that we would have, we would be heavy in favor of McGregor versus DP. So, I mean, I guess it depends on what Conor really wants to do moving forward. Does he just kind of want to just fight because of whatever? Or does he just want to fight and maybe get a title shot? I mean, what's the deal, you know? Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira at 155. Who wins? I got Ilia Topuria. Because I think Ilia can hurt him on the feet, and then Ilia has really good jiu-jitsu and really good grappling as well. Conor versus Charles is a massive fight. I mean, I think it's a big fight too. If you're Chandler, you don't get the Chandler fight, I'll just retire. Yeah, if Chandler waited all this time and doesn't get the McGregor fight, dude, that's just foul, man. It's just foul. Dan Hooker versus McGregor, I'd take over anything. That'd be a fun fight. That'd be a fun fight. Charles versus Patty, that would be interesting. That would be interesting. You think that what's up, Raheem? You think that Ilya beats every lightweight apart from Islam and maybe Arman? I mean, look, I really think that I think Ilya is that good, man. Like I think he's that good. I think that he is a very, very well-rounded fighter too. And people kind of forget about his grappling. He's got good grappling. He has good wrestling. He has good jiu-jitsu, and the striking is dangerous. He's got really good boxing. He's got a lot of power. He's confident. But yeah, I think that I think him versus Islam would be a great fight. That'd be a super fight at some point. I don't know if we'll ever get it, but I'd love this. I'd love to see that fight. Ilya versus O'Malley. Who do I got? So here's my thing. I think O'Malley's speed could be an issue for sure. But then again, I watched the Petr Yan versus O'Malley fight, and don't get me wrong, I think that Yan is amazing, and I think that he's a really good striker. But Ilia Topuria is way more powerful, and he's a different kind of fighter, and I think that the power would be crazy on the side of Topuria. And he's pretty good defensively, but the speed and the footwork and stuff of O'Malley might be an issue, but I think Topuria would be able to beat him, to be honest. But I don't know. I don't know. A long rangy guy like O'Malley might be a problem, but I'd probably lean towards Topuria, though. The scary thing about Ilya is that he's base was jiu-jitsu and wrestling, which is terrifying. Exactly. Exactly. MVP is ducking Prates. I want to see that fight. Carlos Prates versus MVP is a amazing fight. I don't know if he's ducking him though, man. And I think that that's actually a good fight for MVP because it's a striker. You know, Ilya is overrated at this point. What's up, Trifer? I mean, I don't think he's overrated. I think he's a damn good fighter, man. I think he's a damn good fighter. Did I see that Bashrat versus Victor Hugo just got added to 308? We were just, yeah, someone just said that earlier in the chat, man. Yeah, that's crazy. That card is loaded. That's the second coming of UFC 300, literally. Remember me when Max shows levels to Ilya? Yeah, I'll remember, man. I'll remember. Yair would give Ilya some troubles. Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what's fun about fighting. Styles make fights, man. And I think a guy like Yair Rodriguez, that long frame, he's fast, he's wiry. I think that could give Ilya some issues. That's the frame that's giving him some issues. But you got to have good kicks. And Max Holloway doesn't have good kicks. I like Max, but he doesn't. He threw some good kicks to the body against Arnold Allen, but he's not a good kicker. He's landed a nice head kick on Volk before, but I mean like a snappy, whippy kicker. Like Jai Herbert has the ability to do that. And why everyone hates Jai Herbert? I don't understand. Like Jai Herbert's a good striker. You know, he's just not. I don't know. In terms of MMA, he's meh. But in terms of just pure kickboxing, like he's not bad. And I think Yair Rodriguez, that's a whippy, fast kicker. You know what I mean? Like that's like a whip coming at you. So. He's great, but doesn't have that many good wins. I mean, I agree there. But again, he's still kind of new in the UFC. He hasn't had that many fights in the UFC. He put on a clinic against Josh Emmett and then went out there and starched Volk. So, I mean, but I know what you mean. In terms of strength of schedule, yeah, it's not the best. You wish we could see EPO Dilla Snake versus Sean. Those shots that Jan were landing on O'Malley, if they were from Ilya, O'Malley would have gotten knocked out. That's what I'm saying. That's kind of my point is I'm like, dude, if that's Ilya hitting him, that lights out, you know? You want to see Randy Brown versus Prates at MSG? I think that's not a bad fight. That's not a bad fight. You hope Ortega versus Lopez go to the ground. Let's see how their jiu-jitsu matches up. I think there's a possibility. We saw Yair drop Ortega, so I think that Lopez has the ability. He has the power. So if he could drop him, and then we get to see some scrambles on the ground, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. According to Max, he's going to surprise a lot of us when he fights Ilya. Yeah, I saw his little interview thing on YouTube, or his little video there. He was talking about that. Yeah. You think Ilya breaks Max's face? and gets a decision win due to damage, and I think he drops Max badly. I think he's going to hurt Max at 45, man. You're truly worried about Max going into the Ilya fight? Look, I was up here saying that I think Max is going to beat Gaethje, and I wasn't worried in that fight because I was like, Gaethje's never fought a guy that's as fast as Max, but Ilya's fought guys that are quick. You know what I mean? And Volkanovski was doing everything right. Volkanovski was doing just about everything right. But when you face a guy that has a boxing approach, they're very patient. Like Ilya, he was willing to almost, I don't want to say give up a round, but be very patient, invest in some calf kicks, taking away Volkanovski's movement, making him a stationary target, and then closing him down and just landing those nasty boxing combinations, which is exactly what he did. And that's scary, man. That's scary. And that's Volkanovski, who had a lot of success against Holloway, and he won all 3 of those fights, even though I thought Max won the second time. You know, that's, I don't know. Who's Wonderboy fight next? He's fighting Joaquin Buckley at UFC 307. Noche headliner is a non-Mexican fail. So they don't really have outside of Grasso, which I don't think that for the Sphere they were going to have that as a headliner. But if like Yair was champ, he would have headlined. If Ortega was champ, I think he would have headlined. I think if Moreno was champ, maybe he could have headlined. But there's no like champ, you know what I mean? Or someone that's like that big of a star that could just like headline the, you know, the card or something like that. Where would I place Shara Bullet on 308? He's a pretty big name already. I'd put him on like not the early prelims, but the prelims, because the main card is already loaded. Maybe the first fight of the main card, but I think that they already have some really good fights on there. Maybe they do the first fight of the main card. I don't know. But the main card is already like stacked up, dude. So I don't know. It's funny that Abu Dhabi got way more or way better cards than UFC Doge. That's what's crazy, man. That's what's crazy. I know. Protez versus Chaos will feed families. That is a good fight. I would like to see it. I know Protez wanted that fight. Yeah, Shara's got some holes, that's for sure. 1 in the wrestling and then 2 in the boxing, I think. Chad, you trusted Max at 276 when you said he had something for Volk, but I realize now Max will never be able to beat a shorter opponent with elite boxing. He struggles with shorter opponents. I was just watching the Frankie Edgar fight back as well when he fought Frankie, and he's having some issues with Frankie Edgar. And it's like, dude, you know what I mean? And I like Max a lot, you know what I mean? And I'm just saying what it is. He's not, you know, everyone's getting kind of caught up in this like whole KO Max thing going on. And it's like, you know, I don't know. Bruno Silva versus Manel Cap. Who do I got? Interesting fight. I think Manel Cap can get that done. If he can open it up more, I like Manel Cap a lot. I think he's good for the flyweight division. We just need to get him some wins. Arnold Allen was making it competitive with Max, and Ilya is so much better, as a much better version. And you think Ilya stops Allen due to body check? That's exactly my thoughts, Raheem. Perfectly said. Is Max, again, when you watch the Yair fight, which I know Yair, if you're just standing in front of him and don't like have a crazy grappling threat, that's a hard fight. But again, watch how Arnold Allen was doing against Max. If that's Ilya, dude, I'm just saying. And Arnold Allen's good. I'm not taking anything away from him. I just think Ilya is like, he's just dangerous, man. You're picking Buckman to beat Wonderboy Thompson. I think Buckley can beat him too. I think he's going to try to mix in the takedowns. It was cool of the UFC to do a replay last Saturday since we didn't have a fight card. Yeah, they've been doing a good job with a lot of the like the YouTube stuff they've had going on too. Amir Albazi versus Moreno is official. I like that matchup. I mean, I don't know, man. I think Amir Albazi can get that done. I think that his grappling might be a problem for Moreno. You want to see O'Malley versus Holloway at some point? I don't know if we'll get that, but that'd be interesting. Francis versus John in the PFL. I don't think we're ever going to get that, man. I don't think we're ever going to get that. But that would be interesting. Ilya has got dangerous leg kicks as well, and that is not talked about enough in his game. That's what I was in my breakdown video that I did talking about why I think Ilya is going to beat him. I mentioned that. I was like, that calf kick that he was landing on Volkanovski, he's going to try to utilize that on Max to try to take away the movement, because Holloway likes to use all this movement now, and That's how you neutralize a guy that moves a lot. That's what like Pineda would do to Adesanya, just beat his legs up. So that way he can't move around as much, try to make him more of a stationary target. You can see that body head combo from Ilya landing on Max as he circles against the cage. That's what I think is going to be the shot. That left hook to the body, that liver shot that he folded Damon Jackson with. He hurt Jai Herbert with it, and then the right hand upstairs. Yeah, that win over Gaethje, it was a very strategic, clean performance. But yeah, the KO at the last second, if they never do the slug it out, point at the ground, let's just throw caution to the wind. If that doesn't happen, there's no KO, Do I think Ilya will try to take Max to the ground or a pure striking match? I think it's gonna be striking. But if Holloway starts to get the better of him, maybe we see him mix in the grappling. I think Ilya will fake some level changes like what he was doing to Volkanovski. But yeah, I think it stays on the feet. You're calling it now. O'Malley will beat Ilya, Max, and any other featherweight that is a threat. And I don't even like O'Malley. He's annoying. O'Malley's a problem, man. He is a damn good fighter. Whether you like him as the person he is or not, he's a damn good fighter. He's a damn good fighter. Ilya is going to disrupt Max's rhythm with leg kicks and also work the body, and his hands are always in the right place. Yeah, and he's got really good head movement. He moves his head very well. He's always ready to slip and counter. Yeah, I agree. 308 is officially better than 300 on paper. I think you got an argument there. Yeah, let me pull up the let's go to Tapology real quick. I want to pull up the I'm going to pull up the card and see if they and didn't they move? I was hearing something that they moved the Chimaev Whittaker fight off the co-main event slot. Yeah, there is not a single boring fight on this card. I agree. Let's see. No, they still have the Chimaev fight on here. Okay, so it's not fully up to date yet. It's not fully up to date, but here I'll pull it up so we can look at it. I'll pull it up real quick. Let me see. All right. So we got Shara Magomedov, Shara Bullet versus Armen Petrosian. That's a good fight. This fight's amazing. Orlabayan, Matal Betsky. Aslan, he's making a return versus Rafael. That's not a bad fight. Two sluggers right there. Abus Magomedov, Bruno Ferreira. That's a crazy fight. Jeff Neal, RDA. That's a good fight. Margos Rogerio de Lima against, I guess, Kennedy and Nzechukwu's going up to heavyweight now. That's interesting. That's pretty crazy. And then you got Hanat versus Nursultan Ruzaboev. That's a good fight. I mean, Ankalaev versus Rakic. That's an amazing fight. Lerone Murphy, Dan Ige. Great fight. Silgan, Alexander Volkov 2. Fun matchup. Whittaker, Chimaev. That one gives me goosebumps. And then the main event, I mean, we all know, is absolutely crazy. So that is a crazy card, dude. That is a crazy, crazy card. No doubt about it. That's a crazy card, man. This card is terrible for everything data made it out to be. Yeah, for the Sphere, yeah. I think it's definitely underwhelming at this point. I think that they've kind of shit the bed with the Sphere a little bit. They moved it to 3 rounds on the UFC website. Let's see. So the only issue I have with the UFC website is they don't update shit a lot. And they're always behind compared to Tapology. So let me see. But yeah, they did. They moved it off the co-main event, though. Let me see if you guys could, let me share my screen again so I can show you, so you just don't have to take my word for it. Can you see that? So they have the main event here, and then they have Gane versus Volkov, and then they have Whittaker versus Chimaev. So they moved it down. And then they have They don't even have all the fights on here yet. They're so behind, man, when it comes to like Tapology is just on it. You know what I mean? So, but in the preview, it's co-main. Yeah, and so isn't it supposed to be 5 rounds? Isn't it going to be a 5-rounder? That would be that'd be, see, look, that'd be interesting, to be honest with you, because look, if it's a 5-round fight between the way Khamzat Chimaev fights, if it's 5 rounds, dude, that'd be crazy. I don't know, man. I don't know. That 3 or 5 rounder makes a huge difference for that fight. So before I make any, well, I think we all kind of know if Khamzat's going to win, it's probably got to be inside the first 2 rounds, right? Anything that goes past that, I don't think he's going to win. Especially if it's 5 rounds. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. O'Malley only got hit with that body shot because he's close to the pocket box. He would pick Topuria apart. He's too fast. He's not a zombie like Max. Yeah, I mean, the speed of O'Malley, I think, could be an issue for sure. It is a 5-rounder. Yeah, see, that's a big difference. That's a big difference, it being 5 rounds. Because if it goes past the first 2, I think it's going to heavily favor Whittaker. You think O'Malley's overrated? I don't think O'Malley's overrated. I think he's a really good fighter, but I think Umar is the hardest fight for everybody in that division. Umar is just so damn good, man. Yeah, I agree, Chad. I think that Umar can beat O'Malley, but I think O'Malley is going to avoid that fight for sure. O'Malley is a sniper, and I'm not saying O'Malley couldn't beat him, but I think that Umar is definitely the guy most likely to beat him. Khamzat's cardio, he could only breathe out of one nose. I think he has decent cardio. I just think he overexerts himself like Conor. He starts so damn fast. What are you talking about, Bot? What look? What do you mean? Do you think Usman Nurmagomedov beats Topuria at 155? Ooh, that's interesting. I might be able to. Might be able to. You've already said this, but you think pound for pound Umar is the most skilled fighter in the UFC, elite kicks, wrestling, BJJ? I would agree. I think he's up there for sure. Watch O'Malley beat Marab and call out Figgy instead of Umar. Wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me. You think Khamzat will destroy Whittaker? I mean, or demolish him? I think there's a real chance for sure. I mean, I'm picking Khamzat, but I'm just saying, it still scares me though. So we'll see, man. We'll see. Because I think, obviously, if Chimaev can't get him out of there early, I get worried. Especially if it's 5 rounds. Can you see him standing in front of Robert Whittaker for 5 rounds? I don't think I can, I'm just saying. If it was a 5-rounder, I had Whittaker by 5th round TKO, 1-2 high kick. That puts Khamzat down. I mean, that'd be wild. That'd be wild if he was able to finish Khamzat. Jan out-grappled O'Malley and out-muscled him in the clinch. That's true. That is true. You don't think Whittaker's bouncy style will last after a lot of wrestling and Khamzat has more power? Yeah, when Khamzat sits on his shot, that's what I've been saying for a while, man. I think Khamzat has underrated striking. I think he actually has pretty good striking. He just I think he's just so reliant on the wrestling that he just doesn't open up enough. I think that he actually has pretty good striking. You guys think Khamzat has good striking? I think he does. He has a good front kick. He's got a decent kick to the body. He switches stance well. Switches stances well. I think he's got good power in his hands. I think he's got good striking. Yeah, I think at a 3-rounder for sure, Khamzat. The 5th round, the 5 rounds definitely concerns me. I agree, Diego. You just want prospects to replace the guys? Umar versus Peyton Talbot, that'd be crazy. You love how Dana is saying he has to respect legends like Stipe, even though he's never favored Stipe and he gave Aldo Martinez and Bautista in his comeback fights. I know, man. I know he picks and chooses. He's so full of shit sometimes. Ilia Topuria is a badass fighter. I agree, 100%. Do you all think the UFC would try to protect O'Malley from Umar just like how they're protecting Alex from Ankalaev? Yeah, yes, I do. My thoughts on Tim Welch. I think he's a good coach. I think Tim Welch is a very good coach. Maybe a little bit of a shit dude. I don't know him. Seems kind of like a jerk, but I don't know. I don't know. He seems all right. He's a good coach, though. Imagine if Aspinall would have said, hey, pussy, are you still there after his win over Curtis? That would have been crazy. Can't you see Umar and Talbot competing for the belt? That is my dream fight right now. I see Umar winning it by a hard-fought decision. I think Umar might be able to finish him, honestly. Khamzat definitely has good striking for a wrestler. Yeah, I think he's got good boxing. I think he's got good hands and his kicks are pretty decent. I think he's good on the feet. What does Umar do if the UFC refuses to give him a title shot? I don't know. I mean, I don't think they're going to, because that's Khabib's dude. You know what I mean? And the UFC really likes Khabib. So which division do I think is heating up? Middleweight. Middleweight, 170 kind of. Outside of who deserves a title shot, there's some good contenders there. Bantamweight's always heating up. But I would probably say middleweight right now. Middleweight's actually became a really, really good division, where before it was kind of like, you know, and then now it's became pretty interesting. So I think that the UFC should do the Strickland versus DDP rematch, and then depending on how that plays out, if you give Chimaev or Whittaker the winner, because again, if Whittaker beats Chimaev, I think that he deserves the title shot the most. The problem is the UFC doesn't love to give a guy, they don't love to bank on a dude winning a fight and then turning around a few months later to get a title shot. You know what I mean? They like to kind of have a buildup for it. That's why I'm saying that. So I think that if Whittaker beats Chimaev, he would definitely deserve it. But then I think if Chimaev beats Whittaker, the UFC's not going to, they're going to give him a title shot. So in the meantime, I think they could do Strickland versus DDP. Mobstar would get his takedown stuff and knocked out because he does leave his hands down. Are you saying against Ilia? I think that Ilia could beat him. Middleweight and bantamweight are the only rising divisions. Lightweight has died. Yeah, lightweight I think is actually pretty stale now. After O'Malley beats Merab, if Umar beats O'Malley, do I think O'Malley will get an immediate rematch? They might try to throw someone in there that can beat Umar. I don't know. It depends on how the fight goes, how the fight would go. You think if Khamzat worked on his footwork a little more, he'd be a real problem on the feet. He just gets a little flat-footed at times. Yeah, and it's weird because he moves his head really well. But then he becomes stationary and just kind of backs straight up and gets clipped with shots. But he does a good job of constantly moving his head and not keeping it in the same spot. We will see more than Tatsuro Taira. Just take the back and lead on one side, drag your opponent down. I mean, who's he fighting coming up? Isn't he fighting Brandon Royval soon? Tatsuro Taira. Cool. If I put Dana and Jones in a room, Dana would come out as pregnant. That's funny. Is anyone that excited to see Whittaker fight for the title again? I would be if it was against Strickland because it's a fresh matchup, but I think DDP breaks him again. Yeah, I would like to see I agree. The only way I would like to see Whittaker really fight for the belt again is if it was Strickland, because it's a different matchup. But like Strickland or Whittaker's already fought DDP. I don't think it goes any different. He's already fought Izzy. He's already kind of fought everybody. So except for Strickland. So that'd be a fresh matchup. Gilbert did take it to Khamzat. Yes, he did. How crazy would it be if Umar beats O'Malley and O'Malley gets booked against Corey? That would be crazy. But Corey's coming off an L, though. Corey's got to get a win. Gilbert even rocked Khamzat on the feet. Yeah, again, but look, that was a big jump up for Khamzat. And Gilbert, he's got good striking and he has good takedown defense. He's got good jiu-jitsu. So I think that that's what Khamzat was worried about. Does Khamzat beat Strickland in a 5-round fight? No. And if he's able to get him out of there early, yeah. But if the fight drags on, no. Strickland would probably end up finishing him. Khamzat just doesn't have a 5-round gas tank, dude. I don't think he has a 5-round gas tank. He's got a McGregor style, but with grappling. He's just not. He's just struggled the way he paces himself. It's just not good for 5 rounds. It's crazy to think that if Merab beats O'Malley, he will never get that title back. I mean, yeah, it's going to be hard, man. Bantamweight is a crazy division right now. I think I agree with you, Craze. I think that Khamzat definitely underestimated Gilbert. I definitely think that was part of the issue there. I think so too. Am I a little suspicious of how in shape Nick Diaz is since USADA left? He's in the best shape you've seen him in years. I haven't seen a picture of like what kind of shape he's in. Why is he looking crazy? He normally gets himself in insane shape before fights, but I haven't seen anything recent. I mean, I remember before the Robbie Lawler fight, he looked like he was in great condition, and then a couple weeks that he showed up to the fights, he looked way out of shape, and that was kind of weird. So, Colby versus Dustin reportedly signed for 309. I don't know if that's true though, man. Is that true? I've been scrolling trying to see if I see anything on some of these fight announcements. I don't see anything. But I'm excited. We have the Contender Series tomorrow as well. So, if O'Malley loses, he will move up. I could see it. I could see it. There's some hard matchups at 35 right now, man. 35 is a shark tank. There's some hard fights at 45, though. Nate pisses green for weed. That's yeah. If Dustin actually did fight Colby, then he's going to have a sad, boring retirement. Disappointing. I give him more of a shot than maybe you are, Chad. I think DP could do all right. That's not an exciting fight per se, and not a very exciting opponent. Colby's a boring fighter, but I don't know. Yeah, until I hear it come from the UFC, I don't necessarily believe sometimes. It's crazy to think everyone would be if Conor knocked out Chandler. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, I don't even know if that fight's even going to happen. Colby versus Khamzat, who would have won? Khamzat. Contender Series has been great. It's been great. If O'Malley ducks Umar, that it would be annoying. But I don't. There's nowhere to go, man. Umar he took out the #1 guy in Sandhagen. Do you guys think that the UFC gave Umar Sandhagen thinking that Sandhagen would be like a hard fight for him? I don't know, because I knew that was going to be a close fight. But then again, I feel like if they didn't want Umar to get a shot at the title, they would have maybe given him Merab, because I feel like Merab could be the only guy to possibly beat Umar. I know Sean's a sniper, but yeah, Umar does have good stand up. Yes, he does. Yeah, I would agree. I think Umar is definitely the real boogeyman of the division. I agree. Yeah, Chandler's an interesting dude, man. I don't know what my read is. He's an interesting guy. Kind of gives me like a politician vibe. Yeah, what yeah, what's next for Cheeto, man? What's next for Cheeto? Islam said in an interview that Habib ragdolls Usman, Umar, and other Dagestani fighters in trading. I believe it, man. Habib's a different level grappler, man. We need a Legends League so the real sport can move on from McNugget and Stipe. Yeah, Legends only. Legends only. The OG League, like when Robbie Lawler and Diaz were fought each other. You can't run from Umar. Dana gets on the mic and says that. That'd be wild, man. That'd be wild. Yadong versus Cheeto 2 in China. I could see that. I could see that. Cheeto versus Cody Garbrandt. Doesn't Garbrandt have a fight coming up, though? They gave Umar Corey because Corey was the only one who accepted the fight against him and because they needed a daggy to headline Saudi Arabia. Well, I know that I know he was the only one that accepted. I just yeah, that's true. Cheeto can fight Cody. Yeah, that'd be I don't know, man. I don't know what to think of Cheeto at this point. Cheeto versus Talbot? Possibly. You might see that at some point. Did I see the video where 3 guys tried to take Khamzat down but couldn't? I didn't see that. Where's that at? Where's that at? Yeah, he lost to O'Malley and then just lost to Figgy. Marab would be an easier fight for Umar compared to Corey. Yeah, there's less threat with Marab. It's just a pace, really. Where Corey has like a well-rounded skill set. Nasruddin Starches Sean in the rematch. You think he beats Strickland in a rematch? I don't know. Everyone was scared to fight Umar. They can't run now. Yeah, now he's at the top of the division, man. Yeah, Cody's definitely winnable for Cheeto, no doubt about it. Do I think Khamzat beats Habib and Islam at 173 rounds? I don't know, man. That'd be crazy. Those are some crazy matchups. I don't know. I think Habib might be better than all of them there in terms of the grappling. You know, Ilya took down Chimaev in sparring. You lying, man. You're lying. I don't think that's true. Is it? Talbot would smoke Cheeto? Maybe. Yeah, Cheeto's a dog. I mean, I like Cheeto, man. Who's my top 3 middleweights right now? DDP, Strickland. Whittaker. Like currently in the division, who I think are like the top fighters. I don't know. You're not a huge fan, then why are you in the chat then? Why are you wasting your time listening to me? You rewatched Gus versus Jones too. That was a good fight. That was a great fight. The ones that you're most excited about watching? Oh, the ones that I'm most excited about watching. I mean, Khamzat, I enjoy watching. I enjoy watching DDP, and I don't mind Strickland fights. You know what I mean? I mean, I like watching Imava. There's a lot of guys, man. I don't know. I don't hate on the Strickland fights as much as other people do. I think that his fighting style is unique to me. Like the fact that he utilizes a really, really good teep. He's got the best jab maybe in the sport right now. And, you know, he's got that Philly shell and he's like, I don't know, man. Yeah, we're going to get rid of you, bot. We got rid of bot, man. Um, 310 should be this. Conor versus Chandler, Leon Gary, Beneil Patty, Blachowicz versus Uzdemir, Talbot, Yanez. Those are some great matchups. I don't know if they'll do that, but that'd be a great card. BSD versus Gaethje if he gets through Moicano. I could see that possibly. Ilya will use level changes to get Max to think, and it would open him up more on the feet. I think so. I think so. You guys fought on that's cool, man. That you've crossed paths with Talbot. That's dope. Imavov, yeah, Imavov's dangerous, man. He's good. Jack Jenkins is he's a fun fighter to watch. Strickland talks like Gaethje and fights like 2022. Yeah, that's my only issue with Strickland. I don't have an issue with his style. I just have an issue with it's going to be a war, and then you go in there and it's not. So that I have an issue with. But I think it's impressive. He's very good defensively. He's got a really good jab. His front kicks are amazing, and he checks kicks incredibly well, and he's got good defense. I heard on Rogan, is this true that he wore some sort of like mouthpiece that had some technology in it to monitor how much he gets hit? And he gets hit like he doesn't get hit a lot at all. Sean Strickland, for a guy that's like constantly in your face, he barely gets hit. That's weird to me. I think Charles can do well at 170. I've said before, I think he should go up. I think he should go up. Or they could do Izzy versus Brandon Allen. Brendan Allen. Yeah, maybe. I mean, well, I don't know because he's about to fight Imavov. So I don't know. Maybe they do Izzy versus Cannonier 2 or something. I don't know. Because they're going to want to get Izzy a win, but there's not a lot of guaranteed wins right now. Albazi versus Moreno is in the Apex? No way, man. What's my opinion on Usman? Can he be a champion in the UFC 155 after Islam goes to 170? I think he can. He's a very good fighter. I've been watching him in Bellator for a while. Izzy fights the winner of Imavov versus Allen. I could see that, potentially. I could see that. We'd be surprised when we find out who Charles's next opponent is. Who do I think it is? I don't know, man. I don't know. Who do you guys think it is? Cannonier fights Paulo. That'd be a fun fight. Do I think Max can chin Topuria? Probably not. Probably not. I think he might be able to hurt him, but I don't think he can chin him. Charles versus Dustin 2. That'd be interesting. Dan versus Charles would be a great fight. That'd be a great fight. Yeah, Brendan Allen's got some good grappling, man. I agree. If I'm Strickland's camp, what's the best way to cue a title shot? Well, I think they said he's next in line. Whether he actually is or not, I don't know. I don't know. Charles versus Patty is the next fight. That'd be crazy, actually, if they gave Patty that fight. That'd be wild. Kaio's very good. He's a very good fighter. Very good fighter. Yeah, Patty versus that'd be interesting. Ilya's chin is underrated the way he ate the kicks and knee and jabber hurt. Yeah, he's almost been KO'd and bounces back and resorts to the grappling and finds a way to get back to the feet and finish out a fight. So Jan versus Ilya in a boxing match. Ilya is a lot bigger than him, man. He's a lot bigger than him. But Jan's good. Jan's very good. Yeah, Ilya is susceptible to straight shots, but I don't know. I don't know. You think Charles smokes Patty? So do I. So do I. That'd be a fun fight, though. That's a big fight, man. I can see them making that fight. Giving Patty a big opportunity like that. I think that's a great fight. I like that matchup. Khabib would maul Topuria. He stands heavy on that front leg. Perfect for the takedown. Yeah, I think Khabib's a hard fight for like everybody, to be fair, though. Kyle gets hit like a bong in a frat house. You think Charles will KO Pat? I think Charles can definitely beat Patty. Corey versus Montel Jackson. That'd be crazy, but I don't know if they're going to make Corey fight another contender, though. Habib versus Johnson and Barboza were such fun dominations. People calling Habib boring surprised me. I never got. Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. You want to see Charles win again? So do I. So do I. I feel like the UFC does as well. They need another big star. Well, Charles is already a big name, but getting him in a winning position would be good for business. Shavkat versus Bilal. I think Bilal beats him. Kaio versus Khamzat. I think Khamzat beats him. Imagine Patty fighting Armin. Patty would have gotten killed. Yeah, he would. Armin would destroy. Well, Topuria was beefing with Pimblett, and Topuria would destroy Pimblett. So I don't know, man. Patty Pimblett, he looked good against Bobby Green, but I don't know, man. I don't know what to think, to be honest with you. I don't know what to think. So I think it's interesting. If they decided to book Patty Pimblett versus Charles Oliveira, that tells you a lot. That would tell us a lot. And I think, Charles has good striking, but he's very hittable. So I don't know. Abubakar versus Armin? I have no idea. Maybe Abubakar. I don't know. That'd be interesting. Patty versus Ilya, when they had the beef just to see Patty get destroyed, he would have destroyed Patty. I think so too. Could Kopylov be a good test for Bo? I think that'd be a very good test for him. I think it'd be a hard fight for Bo. I don't think we're going to get that fight. Tell me if you see it. Patty equals Drickus. Charles equals Whittaker. This could be his moment. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. That's not a bad comparison. Maybe. If Ilya's front leg gets compromised, he doesn't switch very much. What's your thoughts on Ilya's southpaw strikes? He can't fight out of southpaw. I don't think. We haven't seen it, so I don't think he can. Do I think Patty beats Colby in his prime at 170? Might be able to, yeah, because he's got good submissions. But I don't know. I think Colby would drown him with the pace. I think Colby could drown him with the pace. Bo is smart for climbing slow. Well, that's partially the UFC making those calls because that Brundage performance wasn't particularly good at 300. You got a feeling Bo versus Kopylov would go similar to Kopylov versus Fluffy? Yeah, I think Bo could definitely win the fight, but that's still a hard fight though because Kopylov's he's a tough fighter. So, but I'm gonna hop off here, man. I appreciate you guys hopping on here. I'll have some more content coming out this week. If you guys did not see my full card predictions and breakdowns video, I just put that out yesterday for Burns versus Brady for the whole card. So check that out, man. But this was fun, man. Hopefully we'll get some fight announcements soon in terms of what's going on with Conor and Oliveira and Poirier and all that kind of stuff. So lots of good stuff going on, man. But I appreciate everybody, and I'll see you next time.